Elon Musk's rich ass wants to buy Twitter, and the left is not having it. Recently, Elon Musk has expressed his desire to purchase the social media platform that we all know and love, Twitter.
Last week when we spoke, Elon, I asked you whether you were thinking of taking over. You said, no way. You said, I do not want to own Twitter. It is a recipe for misery. Everyone will blame me for everything. What on earth changed?
No, I think everyone will still blame me for everything. Yeah.
Now, I'm sure we all remember the days when Twitter was an obscure app. We all knew about it, but nobody really used it besides famous people. And the common layman folk were still on Instagram. Now we've shifted all of our political and social and dietary and all other forms of opinion to Twitter because we all believe our opinions matter. Now, Elon Musk has expressed his desire to purchase Twitter, and Twitter is not having it. Currently, if you go on Twitter right now, you will find that Elon Musk, if you go on Twitter on your phone, you will find that Elon Musk is by no means in any way, shape, or form trending on Twitter. Twitter does not want you to know that he wants to buy their platform. Now you might ask, Rashad, why don't they want us to know that Elon wants us to know that he wants to buy Twitter? Twitter is not just a platform that is to be protected because there's some future value in it, right? Twitter has definitely grown exponentially from what it used to be. It's a much bigger platform. Political battles and wars are waged on Twitter all damn day. We all know that Twitter is the new battleground for politics. And the reality is Twitter does not want to lose the political battlefield. In case you didn't know, Twitter is incredibly left-wing. And the left by no means wants to give up the power that it wields with social media. The left owns Facebook, it owns Twitter, it owns Instagram, it owns almost every single form of social media that we are familiar with. It's run and owned by the left, which is why conservatives have been getting booted from the internet left and right, front and center. Conservatives have such a hard time spreading their beliefs and their narratives on the internet because the left wing wields the power. Look at Alex Jones. Look at Donald Trump. Look at Tim Pool, who had to, argue back and forth very passionately with these people about their lack of aggression with liberal members of their platform who incite violence, who make death threats, right?
And I believe that to be the case.
So your platform restricts speech.
Our platform promotes speech unless people violate our rules.
And in a specific direction.
In any direction.
But I don't want to say his name. The guy who calls for death gets a suspension. The guy who insinuates death gets a permanent ban.
But Tim, you're misinterpreting what I'm saying, and I feel like you're doing it deliberately. It's not about one particular thing. It's about a pattern and practice of violating our rules.
And you have a pattern and practice of banning only one faction of people.
I don't agree with that.
Recently published an article where they looked at 22 high-profile bannings from 2015 and found 21 of them were only on one side of the cultural debate.
But I don't look at the political spectrum of people when I'm looking at their tweets.
Right, you have a bias.
I don't know who they are.
You're biased, and you're targeting specific individuals because your rules support this perspective.
So with that being said, Elon did not come to this table unprepared. Elon Musk came with the receipts. He came with the information. Now, Elon wants us to know that the current stock price for Twitter is about $30 per stock share. Elon is offering $54.20 per share of stock. Now, Twitter, like I said before, doesn't want you to know this, but Elon Musk is offering them more money than what the stock is worth, and they still refuse to give it up. Now, a different individual is offering to purchase Twitter instead. And this individual has every intention of apparently making Twitter a platform in which you will have a subscription. You will pay monthly to use the app we know as Twitter. Elon is not offering any such thing, and yet Twitter seems to be so much more against the idea of Elon purchasing them, completely against it. refuses to do it, refuses to accept it. What we must understand here is that this is all about politics. It's got nothing to do with money. If it had to do with money, they would have accepted his offer on the spot. Elon is offering almost double what these people are charging per share. And yet they won't take it. They won't take the offer. They refuse to sell this app. They do not want to give up the political stronghold that they have. And people are acting as though this is just the worst thing to ever happen. People are tweeting and comparing Elon Musk's possible purchase of Twitter to the Russian warship arguing with the Ukrainian naval troops. People are acting like absolute children at the thought of Elon Musk running Twitter. Now, why don't they want Elon to run Twitter? Elon isn't necessarily as down with the new liberal left wave of politics as they want him to be. He's not that down with it. He's not all that into it. He's not somebody who they've confirmed as down with the cause. And as a result, they don't want him running their platform. They don't want it at all. They want their platform to be controlled by people that they agree with. This is just human nature. Elon is being treated like this big bad wolf who's going to come ruin Twitter because these people want to wield uncontrollable amounts of power over the way that you think. Now, here's the problem. Twitter and YouTube and all of these other platforms want to be treated like these sort of hubs of conversation beyond reproach. They believe themselves to be beyond reproach. We're private companies, and yet we have so much control and dominion over the discourse of this nation. They want to be treated like some small-time company. But the reality is, they are where everything is at. They are the hub of conversation, and yet they wield power like some sort of dictatorship. These people do not want to lose their foothold over political discourse. They do not want to lose their power over who gets to stay and who gets to leave. They do not want a balanced platform, nor do they want to risk their platform becoming biased to the right. They do not want this in any way, shape, or form. This is something that they are completely against. So, the left is completely terrified of this. And I've said it time and time and again. Long gone are the days of the, public square screaming and shouting. Long gone are the days of the British are coming. Long gone are the days of us all gathering in the public square with a microphone in front of us and a camera, screaming and hooping and hollering. Nowadays, you can type an incredibly divisive or influential in general message to the entire country in seconds. Press the button, send, and you can speak to millions of people all around the world. Thousands of retweets, thousands of comments, thousands of likes, all in the matter of a day by simply pressing a button. And these people do not want to relinquish an inch of the power that they have over this phenomenon. It's incredibly important for us to understand that Twitter is by no means an unbiased platform. And that is the reason why they are so staunchly against Elon Musk having any sort of ownership of Twitter in any way, shape, or form. They want to maintain a strong, liberal, left-wing stronghold. They don't want to relinquish it. They don't want to let it go. Currently, they own everything from YouTube to Twitter to Instagram. They do not want to let these platforms go by any means at all. They do not want to let these platforms go. It's important for us who are staunch supporters of free speech to understand that whether it's an individual like Elon having full control over Twitter, or the individuals themselves right now who control Twitter who are clearly biased, it's incredibly important for these companies to become overseen by the state. The state needs to oversee these platforms. There's far too much control, far too much monopolization, far too much centralization of discourse and discussion for these companies to still act like they're these private corporations that don't deserve to be touched. they have far too much dominion. So I'm firmly in support of Elon Musk. I would love to see the status quo shook up a little bit, and I would love to see a change. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Comment, subscribe.